There you go.
There's actually resistance on here.
Yeah, that little knob does resistance.
Oh, I thought it was going to be a lot easier. All right. We're totally energy free in this podcast today because I'm pedaling us into...
Yeah, we're carbon neutral. That you're pedaling the power for the microphones and the computer.
And it's actually just getting two birds stoned at once because my legs just won't stop moving the entire podcast anyways.
Yeah, I figured that this would be less disturbing to the neighbors than having you tap on their ceiling for an hour straight.
You know, here's an interesting concept. It's something like this bird right here. He doesn't stop moving, does he? Right?
Right, okay.
If you can invent something like that, shouldn't we have something that just makes infinite energy, right? Like, shouldn't that be able to... I mean, I'm not an engineer or anything, but you think by now...
You're certainly not an engineer. The thing is that... Actually, maybe you're onto something. There should be a perpetual motion machine, because this thing... The only thing that stops this thing from moving is when its face isn't wet. Because it needs to be cooler so that the liquid gets sucked up and then it falls.
Right. So all you got to do is just make sure that it has some water.
Yeah. But is it producing more energy than it would take for a pump to keep it wet? I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know the answer to that.
Can the water be in a place where it doesn't evaporate very fast so you don't have to pump it so much? We gotta get some WD-40 on this thing, man.
Yeah, it's not super good. I just got it. It's not broken in yet.
Is this what you do when you're like on the computer? Like,
yeah. Well, I mean, I've done it for one day. I literally just got it. It came in yesterday.
Is this some kind of infomercial thing you've been watching, or what's going on here?
Well, Kelsey, she just replaced her desk with a standing desk.
I actually like that desk.
It can go up and down at the press of a button.
I'm probably gonna replace my desk with something like that.
And she got a treadmill that doesn't have. It's not like an L treadmill. It's just a floor treadmill. So she's walking the whole time she's at the desk. Nice. And I'm like, well, I'm just fucking sitting here, aren't I? I'm probably going to get a pulmonary embolism because my legs are at a 45 degree or 90 degree angle, whatever. So yeah, I decided I would get that, and honestly I fucking hate it because you're using it so you can feel like it has resistance, but it's not consistent resistance. Like it's a little harder to push here, weird. And then it goes a little faster here.
Yeah, it's definitely not consistent.
Plus the other thing is that it does not fit under my desk. When I'm sitting in that chair, my knees would hit the top of the desk.
You're so tall. Dude.
What I have to do is I have to grab one of the bar chairs, and then I have to sit like 2 feet away from the desk. It's not very practical.
Inconvenient.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like this. Or like I'm really hunched over, which is also bad for you.
Oh my gosh. That's wild. I mean, I got to make sure I don't stop moving or make some noise.
Yeah, you can never stop moving.
I actually am jealous of the stand-up desk, and the desk I have now in my office is this. It's a corner desk. It takes up the whole corner, and I got it for free because it was my old boss's, and he got a stand-up desk. You know what I mean? So now I'm like in the same area, like, I want one of those now. I just don't. I hate sitting down when I'm trying to do a couple hours, especially with eBay too, because I'm constantly getting up, taking a picture of something, sitting back down or something.
Yeah.
So, once this whole new house here, we're gonna probably reevaluate that. She said she got one for like $100 on Craigslist or something, didn't she? Or Facebook Marketplace?
Oh yeah, we got that one off of, I don't know, one of those things like OfferUp or Facebook or some shit.
Right.
You brought up eBay. Have you noticed? Well, I know this happened a few months ago, But eBay on desktop, they changed their interface when you go to sell something to make it like more streamlined, but it just looks like a mobile. It just looks like the app does. And they've taken it. It's so hard for me to find features. Like, I don't even know how to internationally ship anymore. Like, there's no feature. Like, there's no button to click for that.
I can show you how to do it, but
you have to help me out there because
it took me a while to figure it out, and it annoyed the shit out of me the first, month. This has been going on for a month or two. And
2 months.
The first month, I was so annoyed, but I'm listing every day, so I just had to force myself. And what's funny is, I have a business account and a personal account, and the business account changed over like that, but my personal account is the same as the old way.
Oh.
The interface is the old version still.
Maybe there's a way to default back to that.
I don't know. I have no idea why they're different.
I was listening to a bunch of shit these past couple days, and I got so frustrated, I ended up just listing the rest with my phone. Completely through the app,
which I think that's what their whole goal. You to do. Yeah, their whole goal is you can use your phone now, which I kind of like because now instead of TikToking on the road, I'm kind of doing some eBay listings on the road now, which I don't know if it's any safer or anything, but it's like I feel like I'm getting something done now. While I'm driving, I got like 10, 15 drafts done. I'm like, all I gotta do is just, put what kind of shipping it is or something, click this, and I'm done. So
a really cool thing, now that I've used the app and I'm a little comfortable with the app, this weekend is the Pokemon World Championships.
Whoa.
It's in London. And every time there's a World Championship, it happens once a year. It's been delayed a couple years because of COVID, but it regularly happens once a year. And you have the option... Like they have Pokemon stores there and shit like that. So you can buy play mats that say London Pokemon World Championship. And Worlds started today. And I already see those play mats going up for sale. And like everything with that brand, that World Championship brand on it.
Yeah.
And the play mat probably costs $20. They're selling like sold prices between 50 and 70.
Yeah.
And I'm like, fuck, dude. I probably could have gone to Worlds and that would have paid for the plane ticket. I could have been in London right now, I'm doing that next year. 100% I'm doing that.
It's tough catching those trends, man. It's tough. Like, and you always run the risk too. Like, 1 year they only produced 50 of them, and then the next year they produced 500 of them for some reason. You're like, I'm stuck on these. But I love it when you catch a good trend, man, and you make a little quick buck.
Yeah, those people bought that shit because it just happened today. So those people listed and sold it today. And it's like, fucking...
The one that I was looking at recently, and just a super interesting company, is Liquid Death.
Oh, yeah.
And why people are really hearing about them at first, it's like, I thought it was like an energy drink when I first heard about it. Like, I was like, oh, whatever, it's another energy drink. And then come to find out it's water, and then they have a couple different flavors of it. So then it's funny because I have a guy that works for LaCroix, but I guess LaCroix and Liquid Death are like partnered up or something like that, or maybe I don't know what's going on, but he like also distributes for them or something. I'm not sure. Like 100% the details of his job, but he's always like asking. I'm trying to get details of like in the gym who's like drinking Liquid Death and what the demographics looking like. And
I would love to get some Liquid Death. It's pricey for water, especially when like Denver has good tap water.
Right.
But
the reason I brought them up was because they have such interesting kind of marketing going on where they're making really cool merch, really cool T-shirts, sweats, all this, and like Bert Kreischer randomly did a collabo with them and did an aerobic video or something. And it's like a VHS aerobic video, and he's like dressed like the 80s or something.
Oh shit, I gotta see that. I love Bert Kreischer.
I know, man.
I haven't seen that yet.
Here's the thing, man. I literally heard or saw a YouTube commercial for it like probably 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And then like maybe 2 days ago, I'm looking up on like TikTok, and a guy's talking about Liquid Death and how this specific account that I follow on TikTok, he likes to go over certain undervalued companies and kind of give them what he actually values them at.
Okay.
And he said he values Liquid Death at like $500 million or something like that. And he started talking about the merch and everything. I forgot why I brought that up.
The reason I know about Liquid Death is because the YouTuber I watch, Cody he's a big investor in Liquid Death. So he's always drinking Liquid Death on his podcast or like in his YouTube videos.
Yeah, dude.
And for those who don't know, it's like mountain spring water. They also have a carbonated one, and they've just started doing flavors.
Right.
But it's in a can, and it looks like a tall boy. Like it looks like a beer.
Yeah, it looks like an energy drink, honestly.
But it's just water. It's water in a can, and like the whole idea is can is better than plastic. Aluminum's infinitely recyclable.
It's a super interesting company, and a lot of people are catching on to them, and I'm like, now I'm not the whole thing about the trends. I was like, man, like the next time they do a collab, the Bert Kreischer thing I heard about 2 weeks ago, and then 2 days ago I'm looking on the website finally to see if like what kind of products these guys are putting out. Maybe I'm gonna buy a few things that's gonna. This is the kind of thing where they only make 50 of them, and then once it's gone, that's gone. And the Bert Kreischer video thing is gone already. There's no more. It's already sold out. And I'm like, oh man, like, and I look on eBay and it says it's selling for 60, 70, 80, $100 or something. I'm like, oh shit. So it's just it's another one of those situations where I missed it, but.
I love finding shit like that, like the Tesla whistle.
Yeah,
like
you got the whistle.
Stupid shit that. You can flip real quick.
I'm trying to right now I'm hearing about how all these companies have overstocked right now, like Walmart and Targets, and I hit one of the Walmarts when they just randomly threw out a massive clearance. It was like a week ago over here at this Walmart, which by the way, I don't think this Walmart has Pokemon cards anymore. I haven't seen them in a while.
I look every time, and that's the Walmart I shop at.
They changed up that area.
I don't see any,
But anyways, they just randomly took all their a quarter of their clothing and put it at the front of the Walmart like it was freaking Black Friday, and just said clearance, and all these clothes were $1 a piece. And I got 3 shirts that say they have the PlayStation logo on it, and I saw tons of ladies would have Pokemon shirts in their carts, and I missed all the Pokemon ones, obviously. I don't know. I got a couple of good shirts that, I mean, it's going to be nothing but just a shirt to wear. I'm not going to have to resell a Walmart PlayStation shirt.
Right,
it's no resale value, but I was just trying to that was a scenario where apparently after COVID, they had, at one point they didn't have enough product on the shelves, and then they just order, and then I guess they over-order, and now there's all this overstock. Or stuff was stuck on the ports.
That's what it seems like. It's probably stuff was stuck on the ports, and they got most of it in at once, and they just don't have room for it,
Yeah. So, and they're just clearancing on certain waves, and you just have to randomly be there. So I caught one of them, and I just got a couple T-shirts out of the deal. I got a Space Jam T-shirt. That was the other one, like $1 Space Jam T-shirt.
Was it the new Space Jam?
No, it was. I mean, it was literally just said Space Jam. It had all the Looney Tunes around it.
Oh, okay. It didn't have.
It wasn't
Michael
didn't
Jordan
have
on
LeBron or anything. Yeah, I haven't seen the new one.
I've not seen the new one either.
I actually recently rewatched the old one at the summer camp because I have. A good DVD collection, but then I'm trying to get ones that I can watch at this summer camp that I can also show little kids too.
Right.
So Space Jam was a easy one to grab out of there, and so we watched that one.
What was the last movie you've seen in theaters?
Solid movie, by the way. I rewatched Space Jam again. It is a classic.
I have. In fact, I bought it on Blu-ray a couple years ago to watch it again.
It is still good all these years later.
Yeah.
And I thought it was. I was
going to disagree.
I haven't seen the new one yet, but I heard this controversy that in the first one, what's Bugs Bunny, the female Bugs Bunny?
Babs
Bunny?
I think it's just Babs.
Babs, okay. Babs, in the first movie, they depicted her very.
Yeah, I get it. You wanted to fuck the rabbit in the first movie.
No, it's interesting. So they drew her very hourglass shaped, tiny little waist, big, rear and everything. And the newer one, they made her like average looking.
I gotta tell you something really funny. There's a bunch of like red pill fucking YouTubers like they go insane when shit like that happens.
Yeah.
And it's like, what are you telling me that you wanted to fuck this rabbit? Like, are you really so upset that the rabbit's no longer fuckable?
The weird thing is though, it's not even something I even noticed before. But who?
I know.
So now I'm like, who's the one that's complaining about the rabbit being too good looking? Like, it's because there's too many ugly people, I guess, right? There, all these fat Karens are just like, that's not how a woman looks like, and then they're complaining to Disney or whatever.
You think that's what it is? I think you're wrong.
I don't know. This
is what it is. Disney got. I don't know. Was it Disney that made the movie?
Whoever owns Looney Tunes.
Let's pretend it was Warner Brothers. Obviously.
Warner Brothers.
Warner Brothers is coming out with a second Space Jam, and how are you going to drum up hype? I mean, obviously you've got the nostalgia hype, you've got the new superstar basketball player, but you need everyone talking about it. So you make a change that doesn't need to happen, and you piss everyone off. Now everybody's talking about it.
Now I have to watch it. Like I have to see.
Yeah, I've got to see this unfuckable rabbit. They don't care, dude. The companies don't care about any of that. I think
they're worried
shit.
About getting canceled now. Maybe they're like, oh no,
that is not true. They love
LGBTQ TV.
You're a lunatic.
I don't know how many there are.
Companies love to get canceled because it just means more people are talking about them, and the other side is buying more.
I guess they always say bad publicity is good publicity, right?
What they say is corporations don't give a fuck about social issues. They only care about profit. And the craziest part is that people like to think that corporations care about these social issues, but like the heads of these corporations consistently vote Republican because it's in their best interest as far as taxes go.
Yeah.
They don't give a fuck about these things. They're only trying to piss us off. Don't make me get political on this.
I really triggered you here, I think.
I wanted to fuck that rabbit before, and now I can't.
I just wanted to talk about they changed the character up a little bit.
I was just trying to see some rabbit.
I see a really...
Some Rabussy. I'm just trying to get that Rabussy.
All the anime porn now is just terrible on
it's ruined,
on the Looney
man.
Tunes side. Yeah.
Actually, anime porn still slaps. It's still really good.
I gotta tell you, I've never gotten into anime.
Oh, me neither.
I'm gonna have to watch some sometime. I'll have to search it now because I always kind of made fun of my one or two friends that I heard were into it. I'm like, what the fuck, man? You're watching cartoon porn. Just watch regular people. But I don't know. Maybe there's something to it. It's more.
I see regular people every fucking day.
Oh.
I hate them. And they can't. The shit you can draw is not shit you can do.
Are they all in like Japanese sounding, or they have American ones now too? Probably.
I mean, it's your preference. If you want to look up, you could probably find Babs like hentai porn. I guarantee it.
I don't have to. You guys just post it below for me.
Do not post a link to that below. Jesus Christ, are you kidding me? We're gonna get banned. Do not do that. We're just we're
all the naughty Babs. Post below, please.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I'd prefer the Japanese sounding ones if I had to choose.
I just assume that all anime is from Japan. I guess I don't know. Is that not racist? What do you say?
Well, anime is. I mean, it's short for animation, right? But I think it's like the consensus is that anime would be Japanese animation.
Okay.
Hentai would be Japanese animation that's pornography related. And then Rule 34 is just like you type in any character or scenario and you can find porn of it.
What? Rule 34.
You don't know about Rule 34?
No.
Oh, I could have gotten you so fucking good if I had only. You really don't know?
No idea.
Okay, so Rule 34 is when they created Pokemon, there are 50 rules. And Rule 34 said that Pikachu could not have two tails. So if you type in Pikachu Rule 34, do it right now. So like there's a bunch of people who are like, no, Pikachu deserves two tails.
What am I searching? Pikachu what?
Pikachu Rule 34.
Should I be on my private search account for this?
Are you looking at images?
I was just looking on Google.
Switch over to images real quick.
I'm gonna private search this. I don't know if this should be on my. I don't know if this should be on my feed or my. I don't know if Google needs to know what I'm searching here.
Okay.
Speaking of Pokemon, well, we're going to bring up one other thing in a minute, but
I'm
right,
making
images. Oh.
Okay. I made up the Pokemon Rule 34. Like that was never a thing. But Rule 34 is a rule on the internet that says if it can exist, it does exist. So name a cartoon character or name a fictional character.
Oh man.
How about Brian?
Like a superhero or a
sure, a superhero.
Like,
yeah.
Like
name any of them.
Who's a hot one? Oh,
they don't have to be
Harley Quinn.
The fucked up thing, obviously, there's Harley Quinn porn, but
that's too easy.
The fucked up thing is that they don't have to be hot. You could type in Brian from Family Guy, Rule 34, and you will see Brian fucking Lois.
Ash Ketchum finally getting Jesse. Oh, that's god dang! I knew that was gonna happen. One of these.
Usually
days.
it's the other way around. Usually they're chasing him.
Yeah. Jesse from Team Rocket, by the way. The chick from Team Rocket.
So that you're educated, Rule 34 just means like somebody has made porn of it. If you can think of something,
Pikachu eating Ash's ass out. You shouldn't have shown me this, man. What kind of rabbit hole do you think I'm gonna go down now? Have you been on this yet?
Oh, I've certainly looked up
Pokemon Rule 34.
Well, a lot of times it's thrust upon me. Like I don't even intend for it.
There's Misty. I've been waiting for you.
I'm shocked you haven't looked up Misty yet. Misty is like my top 5 searches, dude.
Oh man. I got that one. There's one Japanese card of Misty that has her like side boob, but there's no nipples
Misty's
on
Tears.
It. Yeah. And it wasn't ever aired in the United States, but.
Well, a lot of people like to call those banned cards, but they were never banned because the card existed for legal play. They just had to change the art.
Right.
So the art was altered. But yeah, like Misty's Tears and...
There's a little small set. But it was kind of cool because that was a random card that I probably only bought 5 or 10 Japanese packs when I was a kid. I just thought they were kind of cool, you know what I mean? That a card shop, you know.
Yeah.
And then 10 years later, whatever it was, a decade later, I find out about these banned cards that you had to get them in Japanese to get this artwork, and I think I had all of them, man. I had like all 5 of them or whatever it was. That was kind of random. Cool find.
They are certainly cool. There's one with like Sabrina, and she's like doing a thing, but it kind of looks like she's flipping off the character, but she's just doing like she's like controlling shit with her mind, but it looks like she's flipping shit off. There's one drawn by Tomokazu Komiya, and it's like a Sentret, and like there's a bunch of shapes behind them. And in Japanese, one of them was like an Indian sun wheel, which could mean peace, but it's like the flipped image of a swastika.
Yeah, I got that card too.
There's a bunch of interesting ones. Yeah,
the swastika Pokemon card.
Yeah.
You think that one would be worth a lot more, right? I don't know. Now I keep hearing about Fart Swirl Pokemon, and I have to go look through my whole collection to see which holographics have Fart Swirls next to the next to the butt. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Have you heard about this yet?
Yeah.
You might have to go look through you're about to sell some cards here. I see. You better go look through your holographics and make sure you got some. You might have some secret fart swirls in there. They're worth a little more.
For those who don't know, like the original sets of Pokemon had a foil called Cosmic Foil, and it looked like Splatter, but there's also like a Splatter swirl that appears in the background of some cards, and there are swirl collectors that are looking for that. But what Dalton's talking about is that swirl is located near their ass, so it looks like a fart swirl.
It's a whole movement going on, man. It's a trend. You got to hop on right now, okay? Fart swirl Pokemon cards.
That's funny. I'm selling a Shadowless Venusaur right now that I got graded, and I didn't even look for swirls. It's hilarious.
Oh, shoot.
It's probably got a fart swirl that makes it, 10x.
Can you imagine if you had some kind of random card that now is worth $10,000 because it's a fart swirl?
The card would already have to be worth $9,500 or more.
I recently picked up a T-shirt from the Goodwill outlet that I thought was going to be like $1,000 kind of vintage shirt. We went to the vintage clothing, what was it, Thrift Con?
Thrift Con.
And in like that next weekend, I was like, all right, I'm going to the Goodwill outlet. I'm going to see if I can get something. And I found 2 single-stitch vintage shirts. One of them was in like a 1994, I don't know if it was a car show or something. I don't know. Cool. It was kind of a cool artwork with some cars on it. And that's probably going to be $50 or something. And then the other one was a Pat Benatar shirt. And I think the back of it says Crimes of Passion, I think. And the front says Pat Benatar. And then it has Pat Benatar on the front, but she is like super faded. You can only see the ghost of her anymore. And there's like a hole on it, and it's super, super old, obviously, single stitch. And at first, when I looked it up on eBay, I couldn't find it at all. And I found one link that was the same shirt, but it was a remake of the shirt. Somebody had reprinted it. So I was like, oh my God, I got like the only one on eBay or something,
in
man.
existence.
And we just got back from ThriftCon, and I'm seeing these $1,000 shirts plus, and I'm just like, there's no way. And now this week I go to like look it up again to try to list this thing, and I found another listing for like $150, and it was in a little better condition. Like you can see Pat Benatar a little bit better too. So
you didn't buy the shirt, or you did?
I have it.
Yeah, you have the shirt.
Yeah,
you have the shirt.
Yeah, I held on to it for a while. I didn't list it, and then like now getting ready for the house, I'm like, I've been listing too a lot, so I'm like, I gotta get that expensive shirt listed right now. And
yeah.
Now come to find out it's probably only like maybe $100 shirt probably. So
right.
Still, I spent like 50,
profit.
I spent like 50 cents on it every quarter or so. It's still a super score, but I was a little bit let down. Whatever.
Damn.
I know. I'm on I'm literally like made myself a promise like to never, or until we get this house figured out, I'm not buying any more inventory. I'm just trying to sell everything, which is kind of my problem. I bring inventory in almost as fast as I sell it a lot of times.
Your move is going to be it's just going to be a nightmare, dude. You got so much stuff.
I don't think it'll be a nightmare. I'm almost looking forward to it.
Are you moving your storage units over? So you don't have to pay for storage units?
Sure. One of them has mostly stuff getting ready for a house. Like it's got a chest freezer that I've been waiting to put, right, what I mean? And like, a gym bag that I want to put up. Like it's mostly stuff, a lot of stuff that I had when I was in Iowa, when I was living in a house.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And we had to move it all out here. So the one storage unit that is still down in Aurora, the first apartment we were at, it's right next to it. We're gonna get rid of that one, and then the other one is just full of eBay inventory that's listed. So that can stay there until I figure out if I'm gonna be having some sort of more permanent eBay setup down at this new house.
Right.
which I definitely want to, but we wanted to get Airbnb going in the basement ASAP. That's kind of the biggest goal right now. But the house thing is a whole nightmare right now. I don't know if you've heard anything about it, but did I talk about the inspector at all last time?
Yeah, we were gonna. He was inspecting for ghosts.
That would have been so funny.
He didn't find any.
Oh, I would have brought my own gear.
Yeah.
Oh man, let's get it, boys. So we got the inspection reports back now. So now we're in here, and the big one was the AC was busted. I think I mentioned that last time.
You had him double check for asbestos in certain places.
Well, yeah. See, I'll get to that in a second. I'm trying to think of. I mean, the sewer was fine. The roof, he said that there's like 2 or 3 little dents from like hail or something, so I might have to replace a couple of shingles. I remember now. Here's a second thing that was big. So I showed you pictures of this. The downstairs closet, giant closet, man, huge. It was all plasticed off on the walls,
right?
And there was, and so immediately I knew like, oh, they tried to grow weed in this room.
Yeah.
And then come to find out in the pictures, you can see like a grow light just like standing on its side. Like, oh my god. Well, they did 2 things really stupid in this. I mean, a million things I should say, but 2 things. First of all, there's no like vent duct going from the dryer to like outside. I don't even know what's going on right now. There's some sort of ventilation issue with that for sure.
Okay.
And then they also didn't ventilate the weed room. And so like some sort of mold has grown on the side of the room or something like that. And so that, and then that basically that.
Do you know if that mold is on the surface of the drywall or if it's behind the drywall?
I'm not sure.
I'm
not sure. Basically, Tess got this report back and was just like freaked out on it. You know, she's spending the most money on this whole thing, so she's just basically requesting them to fix the AC, fix the mold. And when we had the asbestos report come back, he tested like 5 different things, and the popcorn ceiling contains asbestos.
Yeah.
And so then I think she said she went and got another appraisal for like asbestos removal on those rooms, and it was like $25,000 or something like that.
I'll do it for $10,000. I'll do it for $5,000.
Bro,
just start cutting it down.
Don't even get me started, man. I was like, Tess, I'll do it myself. She's like, no, you're not going to do it. You're going to get hurt. You know that. Oh my! I mean, this is causing a huge.
Yeah, but the thing is asbestos doesn't kill you until you're like 60 or 70.
Oh, dude,
you'll have 30 good years.
It caused a huge fight, man. Because right when she said like she complained about these 3 things, I immediately went and looked up online about asbestos removal and stuff like that. Because it's just popcorn ceilings, and like you said, you were at a process where you wet it down, so it was like. It's not going to get everywhere, and then the videos I was watching.
Well, it does get everywhere.
You know what I mean? Well, it'll be more manageable, but it's not in the air.
Yeah.
The videos I watched on YouTube were like people were getting mesothelioma because they were dealing with this shit and they weren't wearing masks.
Yeah, and they were working construction, so they were dealing with asbestos every single day.
And so it's like
I got to tell you, the asbestos removal is fairly easy.
I know. I knew that was.
The dryer line is fine. Depending on if the mold's on the surface or not, that's easy. You just like paint over it with Kills.
Dude, that's what I said to Tess too. I said the mold's not a big deal, and the asbestos really isn't a big deal. The AC is definitely something to complain about. They should definitely fix that.
I think that you can. It's reasonable to ask for the AC to get fixed because that's the most expensive, and that's the only one that like you can't do. You know.
That's what I'm saying, right? Oh man, but this caused a huge fight. Like. She's like, this place is not livable. It's got mold. It's got asbestos.
Oh, no.
And I'm pissed off now because I didn't even have to do that extra asbestos check, by the way. We paid for a normal inspection, and I specifically asked, is there asbestos in this house? Like, did you notice, like, certain products or whatever? Because this guy knew everything. And he's like, it wasn't in, like, the insulation and everything, but I can check, you know, the popcorn ceiling and the tiles in the basement and this and that. So I was like, he offered me a price on what to do it all, and I said no problem. And now I'm like regretting it. I'm like, oh my God, now Tess thinks it's this giant thing. I just want to know where it was. You know what I mean? And so I could deal with it.
Take care of it, yeah.
And I think she immediately got this appraisal of like $25,000. And I'm like, she's like, it's $20 a square foot, or it's in 5-6 rooms or something. I'm like, oh my God.
Jesus Christ, dude.
Oh,
what
dude.
What are we doing? We can do that
I know.
all fucking day. I'm saying, like, we can open an asbestos removal business.
Well, now you're getting pretty crazy, but
Removing popcorn ceiling for $25,000.
I'm in for it as long as we hire like kids to do it for us, right?
We'll wear respirators.
What,
I'm going to hire someone and we're going to cut into my profits?
We're in the marketing right now. And that's all we need to do. But it's like, in my mind, I'm like, everything's manageable. I mean, the AC is the worst thing, and if anything, you should be complaining about the windows or something. That's going to be the most expensive. But yeah, anyways,
it has single pane.
I mean, I don't even know the details of it exactly. I just know that we're gonna have to replace them eventually or something.
Okay.
I don't know. It went from like we were both really into this, and now it sounds like she's like almost trying to get out of it, and I'm like, I don't know what's going on, man. It's tough. We're going to have to... I wish you looked at it too, man. I wish you were down there with us, because I know... And I mentioned this too. I was like, Cody literally renovated an entire house by himself. I mean, any of these random things we're going to run into, we can at least pick his brain. You know what I mean? The
only thing that's difficult is the AC. And I have a universal certification for Freon and like... AC and stuff.
Random.
But it's not random, because I had to buy Freon, and you cannot purchase Freon without passing tests, because it's an environmental hazard.
Gotcha.
It's what ate the hole in the ozone.
Wow.
And then the EPA came out and they banned it, and now the ozone's repaired.
Okay. Crazy.
So, and because of that, you need to have a certification in order to buy it. And I needed to buy it because apartments, when their AC goes out, a lot of times it's just low on Freon.
Right.
So you top it off.
That was the first thing we checked was, is this a Freon? But
the other stuff, like if you have to replace a compressor or an entire unit, it's so much work. There's no way. I mean, you could probably do it, but it's not worth it. No. It's so much easier to hire a company.
Yeah.
And it's not much more expensive.
And like, she already had it. I don't know what the inspection is going to come back in a day or two, or the appraisal or something for the AC. And she had gotten, I think, our agent recommended somebody, and right after that, my cousin hit us up with like his recommendation of like a close friend that for sure wouldn't fuck us over. So I'm not even worried about the AC. It's just like now I have to convince her that the couple of rooms with popcorn ceilings that had asbestos in them is something that we can do ourselves.
Right.
And same thing with the mold. But I mean, I guess I don't know the complete extent of the mold, but I just feel like the first week we'd be in there would be just nothing but cleaning and paint. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
It's very easy to figure out the extent of the mold. You find where the mold is. You say it's in that room, so you already know where it is.
Yeah.
You cut a hole into the drywall, and if there's no mold behind the drywall, there's nothing that needs to be done other than painting over the existing mold with a paint called Kills, which is like antimicrobial. It's pretty much a primer, and you're already going to paint. So it's pretty much a primer that kills mold.
I'll have to make sure Tess watches this podcast this time.
The only thing that's an issue is the AC. Everything else is really easy to do.
It's just elbow grease, and I mean it's like it adds up at $200 here, $100 there, but you know
it's expensive to renovate a house for sure.
I know, but I think it just. I don't know. I think she just made a big deal out of these things, and I understand she's she's putting a ton of money. I don't know if I told you this, but her parents are loaning us some money too, so we could have a lower mortgage payment and everything. So, as they just said, once you sell the house, you can give us the money back, and so that's like a huge
that means you just have to keep the house until like they die of old age, and then you never have to pay them back.
I hate to say it, I had the same joke at first. I was like, oh good, we just have to outlive them. And then Tess like almost started tearing up. She's like, you know what I would be like without my parents?
Oh my God. Sorry, Tess, if you are listening.
That's where my mind thinks like the darkest humor right away, but it's but it was a great blessing on the whole thing. Like it's now we were so worried about that mortgage payment. It's only a little bit more than my rent, but then I'm all the bills and everything else associated with the house.
Another thing is that even if you don't take care of the popcorn ceiling right away, which you should, because it's a lot harder to work around furniture.
Right.
But it's up there. It's not like it's shedding and like getting into your lungs.
I know.
It's already there.
I know. That's the other thing I watched on videos of this too. It's like a lot of people will leave it because they call it acoustic ceilings.
Okay. I'll give you a little lore behind that. It's kind of fucked up. Back in the day when they were, especially when they do like prefab homes, like you'll see, they'll call them trailer homes, but it's really just like homes that have came in on a trailer and then have been set down. A lot of those have it. A lot of the older homes have it. And they call it acoustic ceiling because that's how they could sell it. But the truth is that they didn't want to have to make every joint smooth, like every pairing of the drywall perfect, and it's just easier to blast that shit up there and call it acoustic.
Put some acoustic ceilings up there, bud. Oh my God, it's
bullshit.
That's fun. Of course. Oh, the acoustics are so much better.
Yeah, no echo. Fuck off. Your tiny little, and it's like they're like little grains, so it's like. It's not like the egg cartons that you think of when people soundproof a room. Right. It's funny.
Random, but I sell egg cartons on eBay too. I don't know if I've ever told you that. And it's literally my personal egg cartons. When I get like 20 of them, I'll list it on eBay and it sells within a day or 2 or 3.
How much?
Well, I sell the 20 for like $20, but then there's shipping, so they go. Something like that.
You do free shipping?
No, I have to pay for the shipping. So
I'm saying do you offer them free shipping?
Right. I offer free shipping. I have to pay for it usually.
What do you ship that in? A box or like a mailer, like a poly bag?
I have like eBay boxes that I bought from them. I don't know.
Okay, so you do put it in a box. Interesting. Yeah. What does that cost to ship? Like $5-7?
$8.
$8?
7 something, yeah.
Yeah. That's interesting.
Random. If you have
I'll start saving my egg cartons. Shit.
You never realize it, but
I didn't realize they sell for $1 a piece.
People want it for their wall. Oh, I'm surprised that hasn't happened yet. Actually, I'm surprised we haven't spilled.
You're surprised that 2 men who are over 30 years old haven't spilled their drinks in 40 episodes.
I gave it the old backhand. And then a lot of people are just getting into into growing chickens and having their own chickens. And once you have your own chickens, you don't ever go to the store and buy a carton of eggs anymore.
Yeah.
So if you want to give some away to your friends, you got to have some cartons.
I think a chicken can produce like an egg a day. So if you get 2 or 3,
I know
you're gonna end up with more than you need.
Tess wants ducks instead of chickens.
Ducks are gross.
Oh.
Chickens are much easier to clean and take care of. Ducks, you have to have a big bath for them because they like water.
Oh, true.
And they shit in that bath, and it needs to be cleaned out like every other day.
You know what?
It's a lot of water. It's a lot of water.
Thing of ducks is very. You know what? Actually, I actually just found out about this. I haven't even mentioned this to her yet, but I saw somebody on TikTok, obviously, that was raising quails.
Okay,
and
the
quails produce
tiny eggs.
Couple little eggs every day, and she had a little container every day with just a couple little quails, and
Plus,
I'm
I mean,
interested in
the
that.
thing about quail eggs is like they're unique enough that you can sell them at a farmer's market, and like there are hippie chicks that are like, quail eggs, holy shit.
Only $30 a dozen.
Exactly. Now you're thinking.
Always on my side hustles, man. The weirdest side hustle that I'm probably gonna start is I might start selling some of my reptile food.
Crickets?
Yeah. Well, not crickets. I tried breeding crickets, and those things are kind of difficult, honestly.
What'll be interesting in like 20 years from now, every home will be breeding crickets or grubs or whatever, and we'll be eating those.
I'm kind of interested in trying to find one that I could eat, and who knows if the ones that I have now are.
I think crickets are fine to eat.
What I breed is the roly-polies. What are they called?
Millipedes?
I'm gonna have to look up
I think they're called millipedes.
No,
but everyone knows what you mean by roly-poly.
Yeah, but what's the scientific name?
Roly-pololius or some shit. I think anything like crickets and grasshoppers, you can eat them, but you have to cook the shell.
Not trolley-poly.
Because the shell's made of chitin or chitin, or I don't know how it's pronounced. I've only ever read it. But some people are allergic to it, and it's...
Isopod. Which makes you think of like dinosaurs and stuff. But the reason I brought that up is because the roly-polies, the isopods that are technically in the same family as shrimp.
Okay.
And when one of their main feed is shrimp, which is kind of weird. I don't know if they're cannibalistic or something weird, but and whenever I eat shrimp, I just put the tails in there, and they'll eat the tails and everything. And all
they eat the whole tail?
They eat they just develop.
That's so cool. Have you ever seen a person eat the whole tail?
My dad.
Okay, I think everybody knows one lunatic that eats the tail.
Yeah. It's
fucking weird to me.
These isopods. The funny thing about those, I've bred them, and I bought them at a pet store. Just here in Denver, bought 24 of them, and they're like the special caramel ones. And they have some other ones that are like zebra and like polka dotted, which I know will be a little more expensive. I actually might buy those next to get into. But these caramel ones that I have, there's only like one of my lizards that likes them, and the other two won't really eat them. So now I just have this crazy abundance of them now in this big container. And I could probably sell a dozen of them for $20 or something, and a dozen of them I probably wouldn't even be able to count it, how many are in there now.
Yeah.
So that might actually be a random side hustle I might start doing, and maybe get some of those polka dot and zebra crazy looking ones too, and all the reptile people. Oh, I'll get some treats for the reptile, get some of the zebra.
Do they want just because they look cooler? Are they more nutritional?
No.
That's
no
hilarious.
Reason for it. Yeah, so
I think some of the weirdest side hustles that I've looked into and I've been like, oh, that's something you could do is like you keep there are these beetles, I think they're called dermatized beetles or some shit, and they pick bones clean. And you have a farm of them, and you just put dead animals into their little cage, and then you sell the skeleton. People are super into skeletons.
Yeah.
And then there was this other one I saw where people were taking leaves and they were soaking them in water for a week, and then they pull them out and they scrape off all the green, and you end up with this leaf skeleton. You see all the veins and shit.
Huh.
And then they kind of put this dye on it, and it turns it black. So now you have a really clear representation of a vascular system of a leaf.
Yep.
And then just pinch it between two pieces of glass and frame it. And they're selling it for $70. A fucking leaf.
Fuck that. Legit. If and when we get this house, Tess and I are actually gonna get into the beekeeping business.
Oh, that's cool. I like that.
Her parents have 3 hives now. They used to have 2, now they got 3 growing, and they have all the equipment, and I think they produce 90 pounds of honey last year with 2 hives or something like that. And for the past couple of years, they just been giving us honey as like gifts and stuff. They put it as like Christmas gifts, and here's some honey and
yeah.
And it's delicious and it's different. It's like actual honey. Like it's not like you get in the grocery store. Like it's not cut with fucking sugar or some like I can't even eat the honey at the grocery store anymore, man. It's like not the same. But we're definitely gonna probably get into that if and when this house.
You'll have a little booth where you sell quail eggs and honey. It'll be nice.
Might as well get the microgreens going.
I have a news article about beekeeping that I read this week, and it was this guy. I don't know where he was located, maybe in England or something. He could have been located in Denver for all I know. They don't fucking pay attention.
Yeah. But
he keeps bees, and he has, multiple colonies, and his whole thing is bees get these mites that end up killing entire colonies. Yeah. And it's a big issue because bees are endangered, right?
Yeah.
So he was breeding bees that were mite resistant. So he was going to have these like super bees that they just don't die from mites. And I don't know, like some neighborhood kids or maybe some neighbors who didn't like the idea of bees in their neighborhood, they poured gasoline all over them and they burnt down every colony. So our hope at mite resistant bees, we're starting back at square one now.
Oh my God. It just reminded me of this TikTok I saw the other day where this lady she's smoking some venison and I think it might have been veal actually. And this like Karen is there and is like, is that smoked meat?
Okay.
And she's like, I live next door and we are all vegan and we will not be having smoked meat odors into our yard. I'm calling the HOA or something. And then this old lady is just like, you want some veal? She just gives this whole big old chunk of meat out. She's like, oh man.
I had that pop up on my For You page too. And I got to tell you, you got to start recognizing staged events. People will do anything for clicks and likes.
Who cares? I enjoyed it. I want to make fun of it, Karen.
Oh, interesting. Okay, maybe that's the approach. It was fun to watch nonetheless.
Yeah.
Okay.
What am I going to be on the vegan against the vegan? I'm not really against any vegans.
No, I just thought it was like, for me, it was just annoying because it's like, there are actual fucking bad Karens in the world. You know what I mean? And this is like a meme that just keeps getting perpetuated because people are faking it. You know what I mean? Like it's really just her friend.
I think that happens with everything.
I know, but it's killing the meme because Karen meme is very funny.
Yeah.
But like every video I see, it's like, it just feels off. You know what I mean? Like there's that one where like it's framed as a Karen video and she's like going through the person's mailbox. And that one's like obviously so staged.
I don't remember.
I don't know. But I have seen the smoking meats video. Have you seen Mark Zuckerberg smoking his meats? That's a famous meme.
Speaking of Mark Zuckerberg, this is kind of a funny one. I just heard about this in a news article. A guy went to summer camp with Mark Zuckerberg, okay?
I know this one.
And I think every kid, this might have been a baseball summer camp, and every kid got to get their own baseball card made of themselves, and one of the camp members was friends with Mark, and I think Mark gave him his card and signed it for him. I don't know if they got a couple cards. I don't know how that works or whatever, but he gave this card and signed it. And so then this guy had found it years later in his basement or attic or some shit. And then he goes and gets it graded too, which is kind of funny.
Fuck yeah.
And now he's going to put it up for auction, I believe. And I don't know. I haven't heard if it's sold or anything yet, but I just thought it was a funny story.
I think maybe I saw that on TikTok too, but that is a good one. a tiny little Mark Zuckerberg on a baseball card. And I think
signed by Mark Zuckerberg as a child.
And I think the stats were even included on the back of it, and like the stats were very exaggerated, like impossible stats.
That's funny.
It's really good. We got to get our own baseball cards made. What are we doing?
Interesting. Yeah, we should have our own card. We should have our own cards.
We should have our own cards.
A whole trading card game.
No.
Let's get a hold of Wizards of the Coast. What are they doing nowadays?
Magic: The Gathering.
They can put that down for a second. That doesn't even sell that much anymore, is it?
Magic: The Gathering is hugely popular right now. It's
just because
Post Malone.
Post Malone started buying cards. Now it's popular now.
There was an event recently, like a championship event, where I don't know if you were the winner or something, but you got to play Post Malone at the end.
Oh,
I don't like kind of like a final boss. Like you beat the Elite Four and then you face the champion.
I did hear that he spent $800,000 on a Black Lotus card. I don't know if it was signed or some shit too.
It's probably like the best graded one, maybe.
I don't know.
Black Lotus, very expensive, just like the it's the Shadowless Charizard of Magic.
Yeah.
But honestly, it should be a lot more valuable because it's a lot older.
True. He plays Apex Legends, by the way, which is one of my favorite games. My favorite game.
The only game you play.
It's the only game I play. Okay.
Yeah.
But I hate watching his screen because my like gold coins is like 100 or 200 gold coins, and he's got like 1 million, dude. He's bought anytime he wants to just buy something on the game. Just I'll buy that. I'll buy this here.
Is like 100 coins $1?
Yeah.
At
least.
So he's got like 100 grand in Apex.
More, man. Like it's just. I want to say it was more. It was a ridiculous amount because the coin. I don't even know.
Or 10 grand, I guess.
I don't know, dude. It was just a stupid amount.
That's funny. It would be nice to. I mean, he is like generational wealth. Like he'll be set forever.
Oh man. So what an interesting story too. He started on YouTube.
Yeah.
You know, just making stupid little music videos and stuff like that.
He's incredibly. I like Post Malone's music a lot. I think like he's got so many #1 hits.
Yeah. I don't.
And he's cool as shit. Like plays
like,
Apex, plays Magic.
I don't think I really have anything bad to say about the guy. Really.
He's got like.
I think I wanted to be a hater, but then I'm just like, I got nothing to hate on this guy.
I really like Post Malone.
Yeah.
Really cool that he chooses not to live in LA. He's got like some mansion like out in the middle of nowhere in like Wyoming or some shit.
Right. I think I wanted to hate on his music at first, like pop music or something.
Yeah, it's good.
Whatever, man.
I'm a fan.
Yeah. That guy's he can do whatever he wants, man. Literally. I think I told you before, T-Pain was making more money playing video games than his music.
You did say that. I hate T-Pain's music.
I heard Post Malone plays video games. I don't know if he does it for money or
I know he does live sometimes. Like he'll go live. I caught
he plays
him.
a lot of games too. He doesn't just play Apex. He plays a bunch of shit.
I caught one of his lives and he was playing with like some famous band. It was just in his living room and he's playing guitar with some band.
Like the country one. I know he got together with a country band.
I don't know. I'm sure he's done it with a few bands,
We haven't been keeping up with Post Malone.
I'm not
enough,
super
apparently.
into music, to be honest.
I was about to say, yeah.
I don't know why I'm talking about.
I
I don't know why I'm talking about musicians at all.
Keep it on Magic and Pokemon, guys.
I like Post Malone as a person, for sure.
Definitely. He's one of the best Apex players out there. Probably the best it's Timmy, and It's Timmy got together, Post Malone, and played together, and it's so funny, man. He's just a cool guy. That's all. I mean,
Yeah.
I got nothing bad to say about him, man.
If you're watching, we'd love to have you as a guest. Can you imagine? For no reason, we got 200 subs.
That'd be so cool. But then we get stuck in that trap of like everybody comes back here to see Post Malone content.
And we're like, he'll never show up again. He met us and he was not interested.
He barely was here for a half hour and jetted off.
Yeah, all the comments like from here on, like for the next 10 years, bring Posty back on. It's like we don't.
All the comments about Post. Oh well, that could happen, right? I've heard of YouTubers complaining when the big YouTubers like shout them out or something, and now they're like stuck in this like I gotta mention this guy thing or something.
They're stuck in this just shedding subscribers, which looks bad.
Yeah, I don't know, man. What are you gonna do?
End the podcast.